is gonna be Restin' the Milky Way versus the Barnacle Munchers, which are two awesome team names to say the least here, Neptune. I kind of want to see how both teams play out here. Both teams, by the way, 2-0 leading this one.
Yeah, for sure. Just this is definitely going to be a situation where both these teams, they kind of felt the warm-up's over here. You know, as they're competing right now, you are now on, I believe, is one of the most crucial sets to win, which is round number 3 here, and I get the pleasure of being able to watch this history in the making potentially right here, because one of these teams will be able to potentially punch their ticket up to be a little bit further up in bracket and not have to deal with tiebreakers, while the other team's going to be having to struggle, be a little bit on the struggle bus right there. It's not impossible to still make your way up to the upper brackets as well, but if you are aiming to do that, round 3 is where the boiling point hits its mark here.
Yeah, we got Barnacle Munchers and Restin' the Milky Way that will fight for that 3-0 position, to say the least, for their respective spots. Again, both teams, and I love the team names that we have here. Restin' the Milky Way, another is an established team, along with Barnacle Munchers as well. They got a few results on their board, to say the least, and I think this might, and the last lowing for Restin' the Milky Way was the May 2025 edition. I think they finished 29th, which I believe was a beta bracket finish for the group. And for Barnacle Munchers, actually, I think this is their first official lowing. They were participants of 2 FTIUs in the past, especially the one just earlier this month. So their first test of a two-day low level tournament here for Barnacle Munchers. And hey, the 2-0 start, it might be telling for them. I'm gonna be excited to see how both teams play. And to your point, this set 3 becomes critical for both teams, especially for teams that are aspiring for that alpha bracket placement.
Yeah, for sure. So you have basically a new face to Low Ink versus a previously more team that's kind of like, okay, we've been through this for the first time. So I can definitely see a little bit of pressure on Barnacle Munchers needing to perform, especially with being on stream. I feel the nerves here, especially when other people are spectating as well. But hey, the only way you learn how to deal with those nerves is to be in these situations in the first place right here. And now that's what Barnacle Munchers are going to be doing here, seeing how they handle this pressure and how they'll be able to perform against a team that is typically seen at Low Ink here, as you mentioned before.
Yeah, seeing in the past couple lowings for the results. The last one being May, so it's been quite a while here from Restin' the Milky Way, to say the least. So I'm gonna be excited to see how both teams perform. And I think, and again, to not underscore anything, to say the least, this is gonna be a matchup that will at least give one team a cleaner run to an alpha bracket finish. But again, assuming that rounds 4, 5, and 6 does not mess them up. And on the other side, if you drop the 2-1, it's not the end of the world, but you will have a slight mountain to climb in terms of trying to make your way through and trying to avoid getting screwed over by tiebreakers effectively here, Neptune. So, I mean, for both teams, this should be a lot of fun to watch. And I believe we're going to be resuming with the Rainmaker map here. Undertow Spillway Rainmaker is going to be the leadoff for set number 3, and this is good. I thought Scourge Rainmaker was stable, and then I remembered, oh right, Undertow Spillway exists. This should be a lot of fun to see, though.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like, talking to most of my friends in, like, a comp community, this is one of the more positively viewed Rainmaker maps, because you have 2 ways of going around it. Well, you obviously have your typical standard route of going left as well, where the defending team has a lot of high ground and being able to defend against the fish as well, so it's very difficult to score points. Or you can do a little bit of a cheeky play and go a little bit on the right-hand side, which is more of a quick getaway when you realize no one's watching it as well, and that's kind of what makes this map feel a lot more better, in quotation marks, for a Rainmaker map, in the sense of you have the option to take it at one side or the other depending on the state of the game.
And that's going to be the one I'm going to be curious to see how both teams want to approach it from either side, honestly. And I could see the right checkpoint be used in more of an advantageous standpoint. You could also see that at the end of games where they just are more focused on clearing that, so they got themselves a lot of room to work with down the road. But I think I'll say a 75-25 split. You'll probably see them approach it from the left. Any team that is somewhat practiced in this particular map mode combination for Undertow Rainmaker. So I'm gonna be intrigued to see how these 2 teams get to play. I've kind of glossed over the teams here Neptune with rest in the Spilky Way. Is that what I just said? Rest in the Milky Way is what I was trying to say there. They got Ionite, they got Shespada, Dislike, and Horo on the other side. Barnacle Munchers, again, the team that I think if the results are true, is their first low ink. It's Beefman, Flake, and Spider and Stream. We will Glorby and Airy will be seeing the bench for game 1 if my information is correct. So for these teams that there are two with one that is kind of rusting off of Low Ink and the one who's making their first appearance of Low Ink, again, if the results are accurate. I think though 2-0 is a pretty good start for both teams, and their goal is, hey, let's see if we can make it 3.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be what was it? One of those instances where you can perhaps punch your ticket up here and just make it a clean 3-0 record here as well, as we were talking about previously. But just let's get into this. Okay, never mind. These players are ready to rock and roll here already, Keon. Looking at these weapons here already, it seems like we have some very standard things, but double sword coming out. Wait, okay, we are pulling some sauce out here. I'm not sure how hard the sauce was cooked.
I think that, so we also, what's also underrated is the Dewey Squelchers as well, the vanilla variety as well, which I don't normally see every day, and then the custom E-leader. So this is just all sorts of shenanigans from Barnacle Munchers here that I'm going to be treated to see. Rest of the Milky Way also with an interesting choice of that Sorella Umbrella, if I'm not mistaken, there being the weapon of choice. So I'm going to be excited and intrigued to see how not just the double sword, especially with the Mirror V Stamper, plays out, but also how Rest of the Milky Way responds to it. And that's going to be the fun thing to see. They're not wasting any time. They're going to the left side. They've already punched through the checkpoint on the left-hand side of the map. And now Barnacle Munchers is still trying to claw their way through. They think they're going to pick up this Rainmaker. A lot of points on the board. And that is going to be... Horo going to be shut down right then and there. Neptune already fireworks to start things off. 4 minutes left in this matchup. And Barnacle Munchers going to have to play from a deficit.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of a deficit right here as well, but no lead is safe. Oh my goodness! Using the sword dash to give yourself a paint path as well as grab the Rainmaker at the same time. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was purposeful. That was a really crucial play to get yourself near a knockout here with 8 points remaining right now. Now it's going to be Barnacle Munchers going to be having to fight a physical and metaphorical uphill battle if they want to take on this game.
This is like the ultimate welcome to Low Ink. This is the ultimate welcome to Low Ink here for Barnacle Munchers on stream. Yeah, now you gotta play from 8 points remaining, the 92 points cashed in for Rest of the Milky Way. But if there's anything that we saw, especially from set 1 earlier today on stream, Neptune users are still playing until the clock hits 0 or when the game ribbon shows, and that's what they're going to have to do. Barnacle Munchers will need to look to keep their cool here. They get first points on the board. Dislikes is going to be the one providing the pressure, but is going to have to retreat. Now, the question is for Barnacle Munchers, where will the pressure come from right now? It looks like they are going to be stalled just a tiny bit. This is a pretty good defensive pull. Dislikes and the rest of the Milky Way is able to get the collapse onto that Rainmaker holder there, and that's just going to be the two members that have dropped from Barnacle Munchers. It's going to be a little bit of a slow push, to say the least, and Barnacle Munchers will have to think of something in order to get that first checkpoint to start things off.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely have to be very considerate on how this Rainmaker needs to be used over as well, because you have it on the right-hand side. Now you have to just be able to fight through a lot of the members that are taking that top right area. Great positioning from the team here as well, just being able to die so much space here and basically put Barnacle Munchers in a position to make a decision here. Do we keep fighting right side, or do we just try and appeal left? And I think they're going to go for the left side here as well. Already picking out 2. This is something huge in the making.
Yeah, Dislike's gonna be the one that has to use that Inkjet to get that pick. Some actually really good angles, and takes out Flake. Flake was the one that was holding that one through, and that actually just buys the defense a lot of time. Beef is shut down, unbelievably. That could have been the splat, but no. Rest of the Milky Way shuts down some possible hammer there, and that will be Rest of the Milky Way again. Another solid defensive hold. Spider trying to play very sneaky. There's no Spider-Man to that play, and it's only going to lead to a slow push from Barnacle Munchers. They still have some control of mid, but the time's still ticking down. About 1 minute and 35 left to go on the clock, and this is a great defensive pull from Rest of the Milky Way.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really strong defense here, and they realize the lead that they have just allows them to be able to comfortably hold these positions and not make too many difficult or risky plays here as well. While it's the exact opposite for Barnacle Munchers, with the time ticking down right here and being able to force your way in. You have multiple specials coming out here, and that bubble, this poor bubble, I feel so bad for this. Just getting consistently cracked into hammered into next week here as well. But hey, you know what? Rest in the Milky Way have been able to respond to it as well. And it's going to be dislikes on this jetpack, consistently getting a lot of pressure in space for their team. That's going to allow them to move forward and actually pick up the Rainmaker here.
So they are going to pick up this Rainmaker. They only had a few seconds left if they wanted to, but I think they're just going to try to push this one a little bit forward and probably put themselves in a place where they could stall, but they are going to get cut down there. So now this is coming into that territory where Rest of the Milky Way picks this one up, which they might be able to, especially with the delayed wipe that is in play. They could opt to play for the stall game, and Oro is going to hold on to this one for dear life, and Rest of the Milky Way moving forward. Actually, they're going to look for more points, possibly the KO here, as Barnacle Munchers is just a bit slow on the uptake. They are going to run this one right behind the umbrella, but is going to not get additional points on the board. But the rest of the Milky Way is still trying to collapse on them. They're trying to buy themselves some time, and now they got to pop this Rainmaker right now. Beeve is going to use that ult stamp to assist with it. Someone has to pick it up right there, and with about 5 seconds left, Flake is the one that picks it up. Now you got to look to play perfectly the rest of the way. If you're a Barnacle Munchers, Rest of the Milky Way, don't be surprised if they play this one very passively from here on out, as Inad and the rest of the gang still trying to find rest of Barnacle Munchers on the board. One member down on both sides of the map. Stream trying to carve out a path here, but it looks like they are being chased by dislikes. This is just Barnacle Munchers being thrown across the board, and this will be dislikes at the end of the day, using the Inkjet to shut down Barnacle Munchers. Rest of the Milky Way with a strong start takes this one home. They take home game 1 in set 3.
Yeah, for sure. I felt like Rest of the Milky Way was just looking for that final dagger there, putting up one last Rainmaker push to basically say, take it from coast to coast, as one of my friends would like to call it as well. Just essentially you're forced to pick up the Rainmaker, and now that timer starts ticking, and it's just like, okay, now you have to go all the way to the other side of the map and potentially knock out as well. It's just too tall of an order for Barnacle Munchers to be able to respond to as well. But here's the thing, Barnacle Munchers, they had some really crucial picks, and they shut down the specials like the bubble really well with the double sword, as well as I think the Kraken coming out there as well. But it's just not quite enough there. And I think another big problem as well, having a leader compared to Pencil and Rainmaker, right, is the leader is actually a heavyweight weapon. And for those who don't know, hint, hint, wink, wink, if you're listening here and looking to get a little bit more knowledge about the game, the speed of the Rainmaker is actually tied to the weapon class's base weight, actually. So if a lighter weapon, like the Ink Brush, like I know a particular person on TZS picks it up, they will actually run a bit faster than normal, versus a E-Leader picking it up, or like an Explosher, they'll move just slightly bit slower here as well. So that's just another thing that was working against their favors, and I'm just wanted to bring that up because I think that was a really cool tidbit.
Yeah, I think, hey, that could have been huge there. That Barnacle Munchers would have had to deal with what's the slight speed deficit versus somebody else picked it up. But I think that's what they needed to do at the end of the day anyway, is just having their E-Leader pick it up while the rest of the team follow suit. Another problem that Barnacle Munchers had to deal with was Dislake's just great accuracy and great knowledge of the Inkjet shot there too. I say great knowledge, more like great accuracy on top of it anyway, because that Inkjet was proving to be a problem for Barnacle Munchers getting key picks down the road. And a lot of opportunities that we saw Barnacle Munchers get in Undertow Rainmaker just falling apart at the seams thanks to the team cohesion that we saw. So Barnacle Munchers will look to rebound here in Crab Lake Clan Blitz, which is a map mode we just don't normally see often. I'm gonna be curious to see what we have. CJ is gonna be the one switching that swaps over to Decap. There is a 10 umbrella showing up now for Dislike, so they're just gonna be the umbrella specialist throughout the board, and Barnacle Munchers is going to run it back with the same weapons from game 1. Only thing intriguing to note is Rest of the Milky Way's weapon changes.
Sure, it's definitely seeing the 10 umbrella here to add just a little bit more HP. It's a little bit of an awkward situation because normally when you see a double sword, the idea isn't really to bring out an umbrella that's a little bit slower and clunkier, gets countered by the swords, but now it seems like Rest of the Milky Way is confident in their weapon picks here, especially. The 10 umbrella does offer quite a bit more HP and allows you to force more situations here, but we'll see how this turns out here. As already an amazing pick here from Dislikes using the Zuka right here, just finessing their specials in ways to just secure advantages for their team so we can.
what I actually kind of intrigued about is that just like was a maniac on the Inkjet. Now they're trying to see if they're a maniac on the Tenebella. I think they're just proven to be that they're a maniac anyways with any Umbrella weapon that they dished out. They just got the first push just by using that Tenebella to help shield them. But what does it amount to? It's only just the 1+1 push here. Boro had to escape back to base, excuse me, for the rest of the Milky Way. So it is just a quick push. It is quick points on the board. Barnacle Munchers will be looking to regain some ground. They are gonna have to look for the players they gotta find. And Flake is gonna be there using that E-leader to plant themselves in a position where they can look for some crucial snipes or some crucial finds there. But right now, Barnacle Munchers is gonna slowly regain some ground, but they are gonna go 2 down at the end of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I like this leader trying to find a way to set up here because it feels like they're forced to be able to make plays that will push the enemy back here as well. But hey, popping that crack in response to the enemy flanking right there is going to allow them to live and reposition once again right here as well. But this is going to give so much space for Milky Way. The time the leader is in the Kraken, that is time the leader is not set up on the grades right there, but 2 down on the side of the rest of the Milky Way here. Forced to bubble here, Keon. Can they hold this?
They actually might be able to because guess who had the Zuko on hand and shuts down a member? Of course, it's just like, by the way, that rest of the Milky Way just got another save on that push. But that's only one part of the puzzle right now. It's still just the 1+1, and it only just eliminated a push off the board. And it's actually going to be a lot more devastating right now, as it's going to be 3 members that have dropped. Flake has to burn the Kraken just in time, but that is going to be the ground given up here for the next push of the game. And there's going to be some small clans being chucked in here. Going to be a little bit of a slow going for this one. And Flake and Spire trying to push forward. Flake, as a frontline E-leader especially, is going to get cut down, and it is just going to be down to the 62 points remaining. Spire does get the cut down on the 1, but at the cost of just another small clan, make that 2 more coming in, and this push still going for the rest of the Milky Way until this very moment, and the lead extends to 53 points remaining, 47 cashed in, and Barnacle Munchers has their work cut out for them, Neptune.
Yeah, for sure. Your work is cut out here, and it's not going to be easy. It's similar to how it happened on the Rainmaking game, essentially, where it seems like the rest of the Milky Way is looking to secure early game leads so they can play more defensive positions more comfortably, while Barnacle Munchers, while they are playing aggressively and trying to like make stuff happen, just never came to settle up a lead that can just allow them to be able to play more comfortably with their weapons here as well. And now you do have Flake setting up here with the leader here, just looking to get these shots right here. It's a very tall order, especially when you're getting bombed and your teammates are getting run down as well. You're now just forced to back up here, and that's going to give Milky Way a chance to be able to potentially push up.
Yeah, but right now, Beef is going to be the one that's looking for Beef to throw there, as it actually takes out Inad, but imagine they were looking for another member out of the mix, and it's back to the 2-for-2 trade. We got 1:20 minutes left to go on the clock. Trades are happening across the board. Rest of the Milky will always be happy with that. I mean, what do you think Barnacle Munchers have to do there? They got a Kraken that is available, but Flake's the one that's going on to the power plant here next.
Yeah, for sure. Flake has been holding on to this power climb for so long here, looking for that one opportunity right here, trying to get a pick right here. It's just so difficult with just how mobile rest of the Milky Way is doing, as well as like the HP they need to trick through. That Tenebella from Dislikes here is going to be able to guarantee so much space right here, because now the leader is forced. Oh, okay. Never mind. Just nailed him right in the head right there. Why don't you?
Yeah, nice little shot there. I think they're trying to be a little bit sneaky, but didn't quite work out for them. And right now, just still waiting for that time to strike right now. They're only getting trades, so there's not enough ground gained here from Barnacle Munchers. Rest of the Milky Way doing a phenomenal job right now, just holding the ground that they need to, especially coming into the last moments of this game. Just like Pro Pops has the power climb. Now they're being chased by a beam. That is the wipeout. Now this could be huge. There's the first power climb. The second one's being jumped in. They just gotta get the other power climb and the pressure moving forward. But there is the lead. The lead has indeed changed hands. It all happened on a near instant here, Neptune, with 8 seconds left to go. But they also get cut down. They are also delayed wipe. This could be an even bigger push on the other side of the board. This is just the 1+2 that they need. And this was a great push, but they may have overextended it. They might have bit off a little bit more than they could chew. Inad needs to be the one to cash in on those small claims. They do just that. Barnacle Munchers had a fantastic counter push to get the lead, but they all get cut down on the delayed wipe. Rest of the Milky Way had a fantastic response. They go up 2-0. That's the lead. That is the set win for them, and they're looking to take home game 3 to get even more out of this.
Yeah, wow. What a ending of a game right there. Basically, from opening the one basket to swapping the lead, then going immediately to the other basket to take the lead right back and playing to the win conditions very well right there. The rest of the Milky Way just got caught off guard by this hammer coming down, I believe from Beef on the side of Barnacle Munchers. Yep. Just that was a Hail Mary of a hammer right there. You were forced to make something happen, and you did indeed make something happen there as well. And just being able to swap that lead there was very crucial. It just felt like even though there was such a good push and a lead swap right there was just barely enough time and a little bit of a panic, I like to call it right there, where yeah, sure, we invested so many resources into getting that lead right there. We just did not have enough sustaining power to stop a decaf setting up a bubble that allowed that jump to happen just basically effortlessly. Just the bubble is just set up way too far in the base. Not enough people were alive to be able to shred through it as well as stop that jump in, which allowed rest of the Milky Way to secure game number 2 right here, up 2-0 in this play all 3 set.
And yeah, set win. They will improve this 3-0 regardless of what happens in game 3. And Barnacle Munchers is going to drop to 2-1, but of course you want to get that dub in game 3 to help your cause here for tiebreakers at the end of it. I was wondering if that lead change was gonna be huge for the newcomers, but in this scenario, the delayed wipe also forced them back in base. That gave up a lot of ground on top of it too for the decap to just set up the bubble, and they're like, oh wait, we actually took them out. No reason to panic. And I gotta give credit there, Western Milkway. That could have went south if they were not composed, but in that situation, understanding, all right, well, we got that taken care of. We just need the 1+2 for that lead change, and Inad was the one that got it at the end. So what a play overall from Barnacle Munchers, and even better play from rest of the Milky Way by the end. So for both teams going to game 3 right now, and the goal here for Barnacle Munchers is to salvage. Goal, and the rest of Milky Way is just improve their tiebreaker chances. And they're just going to throw everything out the door right now for both teams, because I am seeing a Sticker Stamper mirror duel in Makomar Tower Control. Beef also switching to the Vanilla Octobrush. Already weapon changes across the board here now too.
For sure, going to a Sticker Stamper on Makomar, I can understand that because it gets so many Booyahs, and Booyah is such a great special for not only holding, for bumper pushing, as well as diffusing other specials as well. It's kind of the Swiss Army knife special recently that's been doing this. But hey, speaking of specials here, we see Dislikes once again rocking the jetpack right here, consistently finding their picks right here, allowing their team to be able to move forward. 2 down on Barnacle Munchers. Ball is in the court of rest of the Milky Way.
Rest in the Milky Way. Really no rest to find anything else here in another galaxy, as they're looking to see if they can take this one home for another 3-0 for the 3-0 finish. But they are gonna have to deal with an onslaught of Booyah Bombs. Honestly, just one Booyah Bomb, but they got a Booyah Bomb to capture by themselves. And right now, Barnacle Munchers dropping a few more, but they're able to take out 2 in rest of the Milky Way. But this is gonna be a little bit of a slow-moving push here as they're trying to collapse onto the rest of the Milky Way. A lot of points were given up though by the end of it, but they are able to take out Ina with a nice little slash there. 2 members down. Barnacle Munchers can get out the penalty points. They're looking to see if they can get more points on the board.
Yeah, for sure. I like how Flake is watching this left drop right here, because I feel like a left drop can be very crucial here. Dislikes is also going to be able to, I believe, jump out there as well, realizing it's not worth it when an Octobrush and a leader is looking at me right here in the face. But we do see Nad, I believe, as well, popping in the bubble, hopefully contest the zone right there as well. Dislikes once again finding another jetpack pick. I'm gonna watch this Splatoon 2 gameplay, because this is what I see the jetpacks all come out here.
There ain't jets back once more, and in the hands of Dislikes, just finding so many picks with them. And I know Dislikes has been our radar. The entire team has just stepped up as a whole for rest of the way to get the picks that they need. Stream just going down in the hands of Dislikes as well, and the rest of the group is following suit. They have a few members, however, dropping just left and right. Beef is able to respond back. They take out CJ, and that will be rest of the Milky Way somehow getting the zones back, only for a few extra points on the board. Barnacle Munchers need to get the cap, and that's what they got out of it. Dislikes getting a shut down with that jetpack. That was huge. Beef is able to find a few, and now Beef is just waiting to find another member on the board. And right now, Neptune, Barnacle Munchers out of the penalty points, and they're looking to see if they can push up a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Beef just putting in the work there for this team. Just doing absolutely insane things with that Zipcaster, as well as the Octobrush right there. Looking that jetpack in the eye, you guys have been getting so many different picks right there and just absolutely shutting it down. Not giving a care in the world, but no, beautiful pick right there on the Stamper. That is absolutely crucial because you don't have anyone else to move up with the Inkjet right here. Oh my god! Like, just... That was so good. Crucial, help me.
Neptune, I think I'm gonna leave you in zero on devices on that one. That's a 2-for-2 trade. We'll have to marvel that one a little bit more. Actually, time slowly ticking down here. Barnacle Munchers able to get a few more picks on the board. That's a wipeout, though. The wipeout is there. And yes, there were members that went down from Rest in the Milky Way, but Rest in the Milky Way, you successfully gets the zones back. You may want to hold off just a little bit longer there. This could be the combo coming up here from Rest in the Milky Way. That was a nice pick. Highlight real play from Flake. But right now, Barnacle Munchers, the next up they got to do, especially with the lead, is to hold successfully on defense. Rest of Milky Way looking for the 3-0 is still looking to contest back. They're out of the penalty points now. Here now, Neptune.
They are out of the penalty points right now, and now you just need to be able to win this fight on zone right there. But an excellent shutdown on that Zipcaster. That's been a thorn in the side here as well. Flake is forced to Kraken right here as well. So now that the Kraken expiring and that jetpack out, it's going to be a very dicey situation here where Barnacle Munchers to be able to find something forward. The Octobrush forced to make a play here in the ink right now. Oh my goodness, this is just so very difficult here. Booyah comes up on here. They're just barely going to be able to hold it here. It's knockout there. Rest in the Milky Way somehow finds the Galaxy Gall brain to live through 2 E-leader shots to cap zone to knock it out. Wow.
The highlight reel play belongs to Barnacle Munchers, but Rest in the Milky Way able to hold successfully once more for the 3-0 dub there in round 3. I mean, a lot of credit to Barnacle Munchers just trying to hold their ground here, but we got to talk more about Rest in the Milky Way. Let's be honest here. The team as a whole played phenomenal, able to come back from two big hunters that Barnacle Munchers was about to dish out to Rest in the Milky Way. A lot of credit to really the entire team as a whole holding the ground. But dislike on not just the Inkjet but also the Zuka at critical moments in game 2 gets even bigger praise as well. But the entire team as a whole holding firm and improving to 3-0 to continue their lowing journey. Neptune.
For sure, well, Barnacle Munchers, even though they lost like one of the more crucial sets to secure themselves a high rank, there's still more rounds to play. There are 3 more rounds to go as well. Yeah, there's plenty of room to turn that back around here and steer that ship right there. Now you just have Rest in the Milky Way right now, just sitting very comfortably, and I think should be a team that you guys should be looking out for, being able to come back from the depths right there, the deficit of being respawn punished with 2 leader shots right there, realizing we have to go now and being able to clutch up at the very end right there. This is a team I think should definitely be in the spotlight here, especially if you're going to be looking into day 2 here.